Welcome to Geography Gen. Today's lesson is going to be all about population change across the UK. So by the end of this short lesson, you will know how the population of the UK has changed over time, and you will know why the population of the UK has changed over time. So to start off with, I would like you to think of these three questions and see if you can come up with answers to them. Okay, so you're going to pause the video when you've had a think about them. So what is the United Kingdom? What is the UK? What does it consist of? What do you think the current population of the UK is? And what is the fertility rate in the UK? And the fertility rate, just to explain that word, it means the number of babies per woman. So how many babies on average do you think each woman is having in the UK currently? Right, let's have a look and see what the answers are. So the United Kingdom, okay, is shown on the board here. So the United Kingdom is made up of 4 different countries. It's made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So those are the 4 countries which make up the United Kingdom. The second question was, what is the current population of the UK? Well, the most recent population data from 2020 shows that the population of the UK is 68 million people. What's the fertility rate in the UK? Well, the current fertility rate is 1.75 babies per woman. That's from 2020. So in theory, the population of the UK over time should be decreasing. So let's have a look and see what you think is happening. So it says, do you think the population of the UK over the past 70 years has A, increased, B, decreased, or C, remained the same? What do you think it's done over the last 70 years? Okay, let's have a look at the answer. The answer is it has increased. So let's have a look and see what it's predicted to do in the future. So if you have a look over here, you should be able to see the years along the bottom. So you've got 1960, 1965, 1970, 1975, and so on, all the way to the future. So it goes through to 2030. So this is a prediction of the population in the future. And it shows you on the key here, estimated, this is what the population is, and that's what it's projected to be. So that's the future prediction. And then up the side it shows you the number. So you've got here 50 million, 60 million, 70 million and 80 million. So if we look at the graph, what we should have seen is the population has increased from about 52, 53 million here in 1960, and it's increased over here to where it is currently. So we know currently, 2020, it's at 78 million, and it's forecast to continue increasing. Now, what you might have noticed is that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because the fertility rate is 1.75 births per woman. So why, if people are having less than 2 babies per couple, why are we saying that the population is going to increase? Let's have a look. So this is a graph that helps to explain this. So this shows you natural change, and it shows you net migration as well for the UK. So this is showing you from 1992 over to 2016, and it's showing the population and how it's actually changed. So you can see this is not the total population anymore, this is the amount it's changed by during each of the years. So what you might be able to see here is the blue bit here shows you net migration. So we can see that there is a net migration of people coming to the United Kingdom. So that's one reason why the population is increasing, even though people are having less children. It's because we've got people migrating or moving to the UK. And you can actually see where Poland and Lithuania both joined the European Union in 2004, and you can actually see the increase from when those countries in Eastern Europe joined the EU and people started migrating from those countries. Prior to that, the migration was mainly non-EU migration. Now there is is another reason for population change as well, and that's because you've got more elderly people. You've got more people living for longer. So if you imagine, okay, that people would have died previously, maybe in their 80s, now they're living to their 90 or 100. So those people aren't dying, and therefore they remain in the population. So therefore the population also increases because you've got more elderly people. So that's why the population is still increasing, even though in theory it should be decreasing because people are having less children. So what I'd like you to do, quite a simple activity, I would like you to have a go at describing and explaining the population change in the United Kingdom. The key words that I'd like you to use are migration, fertility rate and natural increase. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to use the writing frame here. You can pause it, and I'd like you to start off by describing the population change by using the graph that I showed you. And then I'd like you to give 2 reasons why the population is increasing, and I would like you to give them in as much detail as possible whilst using these keywords. Okay, so I've now put a model answer on the board for you. So when you've written your own answer, I'd like you to look back at your answer, and I'd like you to alter and adjust it to make sure that it's a really strong answer. So what I've put down is in 1960 the population of the UK was 53 million. It then increased to 65 billion in 2015. The population is forecast to continue to increase to 72 million by 2030. One reason for the population increasing was an increase in migration from countries both in the EU and outside the EU, which has led to more people and then their families living in the UK. A second reason for the increase is because of natural increase. Remember that word? As older people live for longer, less people die. So the population naturally increases as the babies that are born are not equal to the number of deaths. Without these factors, the UK population would actually be decreasing over time because the fertility rate is 1.75. Therefore, there are fewer babies being born, so the population should be falling over time. Okay, so check your answer and make sure it's really well explained. And the final thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have a look at this model here, or this cartoon, and I would like you to see if you can work out what that model is showing, and if you could write a paragraph to explain how that model or that diagram helps to explain what natural increase is.